Hi, welcome to my channel where I discuss everything I love about my favorite books. Today, I bring you the second episode of the series I started last week called Rainy Mountain Reading and Weather Report. We'll start with the weather report. It is currently raining. The blinds are closed, so I actually don't know that for sure, but I did take a peek earlier. I also don't know who actually cares about the weather report in the past of a place that you don't know, but it amuses me to start the video this way, so that's what we will do. Now, I did not finish any books since we last talked, but I did start several and make progress through the ones that I had currently in progress. So we'll chat a little bit about how those went. Let's start with Central Station because I've been reading that for a while. Central Station by Lavi Tidar is either the first book or the second book in the Central Station series, depending on how you look at it. The first book that I read was The Martian Sands by Lavi Tidar, and that I loved. This one, I am enjoying it quite a bit. It reads like, I think I mentioned this before, it reads like a bunch of short stories stitched together, which it is. I read a couple more chapters. It was a good break from whatever I was reading at the time, so I made a little bit more progress. Still enjoying it quite a bit, and I'm really interested in seeing how all of this comes together in the end, or even if it doesn't. I think the ride was kind of really fantastic. I love every single story. There's a lot to explore and think about even in just each individual chapter. I'd be curious to see how all that gets put together in the end. The next book that I have had in flight for a while is The World We Make, which is the second book in the Great Cities duology. Now, I had started, before I started reading The World We Make, I had started a reread of The City We Became, which is the first book of the duology, mainly because I didn't remember enough. I didn't remember the character names, I didn't remember what I should know about them before getting into this book. So I decided to just reread that on audio, and then I paused the reread halfway through because I figured I have enough now to understand the second book. So I started the second book, but then the South Asian character is so well done. I had completely forgotten about how well done I thought she was in the first book, and I had stopped just before we met the Queen's character in The City We Became. And so I did not get to re-meet Padmini for the first time in my reread. So I went back and decided to continue on with my reread. So that's where that is at. When I finish my reread, I will probably get back to The World We Make. I'm still pretty lukewarm enjoying this series. I mentioned this last week. I am enjoying the series on a cerebral level, but not so much on a character or plot level. I'm not too interested in what happens next because most of the book, the first book and the second book seems to be following the same thing, is kind of a wild chase or one piece of action after another, and I don't always enjoy that. I need large moments of quiet between my action scenes, and so yeah, I'm just taking this at a slow pace, enjoying it quite a bit. All the same. The Paper Menagerie and Other Stories. This, we have been working our way through it in Steve from Steve Talks Books channel, and we've been reading one short story per week during his live read-along sprint. And we had started with the title story, and last week we read the first short story, and I think we're just gonna work our way down from there. So the first short story, I believe it's called The Bookkeeping Habits of Various Races or something like that. It is written like dry research notes, like it's going to feed into someone's research paper at some point, and it's just a series of here's how this species maintains books, and this this species maintain books and so on. It reads very dry, and at the outset it almost was like, what the hell am I reading? This doesn't read like a short story at all. Where's the plot and whatnot? But I think it's just really interesting for me to see how all the many ways that you can have short stories, and I really loved the imagination between each species and their bookkeeping habits. So yeah, that was pretty enjoyable, and for 10 pages, yeah, totally worth it. A lot of mind bending there, with especially I believe they're called the Tull Talks, that species. There's some black holes involved in how that species reads or keeps books. So that was pretty interesting to read. I think I'm going to enjoy the rest of this short story collection quite a bit, and it's made me more eager to pick up Ken Liu's long form fiction sooner. I'm still working my way through The Prestige. I'm listening to this audiobook with my husband, so I have to wait for times when we are driving to places together so that I can make progress on this. He loves the movie just as much as I do, and he doesn't read as much as I do. So when we find these books that we like listening to together, we just take as long as we need to finish them. And yeah, he's interested in continuing to listen to this with me, so I'm just going to be making slow progress over this. And I don't feel like I will lose a lot of context taking the time to read it slowly, because I already know how the plot plays out, and I'm enjoying Simon Vance's narration. So yeah, I don't think I'll lose a lot by taking this slowly. We have finished one magician's biography, and we've taken an interlude for the second magician's, one of his descendants, to give us her life story. And then I believe there is an upcoming 6-hour long chapter with this second magician's life story, I think. Maybe his diary. I'm not sure what it is we're going to read next. And yeah, I'm still enjoying this quite a bit. I would still really like to know how someone who hasn't watched the movie but read the book, or read the book before watching the movie, interpreted the events. I'm really curious about that. So I'll probably ask everyone I meet from now on what order they read the book in, if they have. Anyway, so yeah, just a bit of amusement for me, I guess. And I did start, now I think we're moving on to the books that I started last week. I had all of this in flight, but decided, it's a good idea to start some more. Because I'm listening to this audiobook with my husband, and I have to wait for when we can drive together, I needed another audiobook to listen to as I did my chores around the house. And for that, I started The Summer Tree, which is the first book of the Fiona Ward Tapestry. Ralph Bluetaxt has been working his way through through Guy Gabriel Kay's works, and he seems to be really enjoying them. And I like most things that Ralph does, or maybe all of them. So I was excited to check this one out because of how much he said he enjoyed the Fiona Ward Tapestry trilogy. So yeah, I'm making slow progress through this. Audiobooks are always slow. I listen to them at the speed they are read, and I do not speed them up or anything. So yeah, that's going to take as long as it takes, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm about 50 pages in, I think. I started A Clash of Kings. The discussion for that is scheduled next Sunday, and it's going to be a race against time to see if I can finish it. But yeah, I've made enough progress. I think I'm at nearly 200 pages in. I've got 700 pages and half a weekend. Well, I guess between today and next Saturday, I have a whole weekend in which I can finish this. So we'll see. I'm fairly confident I can finish it in time, but we'll see how that goes. And I am really enjoying it so far. I made my video on Game of Thrones. Today I recorded it. I'm expecting to put it out sometime later this week. But yes, I love that book quite a bit, and I'm enjoying this quite a lot more. I think the events had a sort of slow build in A Game of Thrones, and this one somehow reads faster. I think maybe because I'm more familiar with the characters, or I know or we've had already all the build up we need, and now it's sort of like some of the tension is being dispersed, if you will, while building some other tension up. So yeah, it's a lot of fun reading. I'm able to read 100 pages at a time. I think with A Game of Thrones I was reading maybe 50 pages at a time before I felt the need to put the book down, because we switched to a POV that I wasn't maybe enjoying as much as the one that we had just been reading. So yes, because I'm more familiar with the characters, I think I can keep reading for longer. So yeah, we're getting close to wanting to binge read territory here with A Clash of Kings. And then I also started The Children of Gods and Fighting Men. I think I wanted something to, because, well, I have been enjoying A Clash of Kings quite a bit, but overall I think it's still reading a bit slow for me, which is not a bad thing. It's just, that's how some books work. I still love them, but I wanted something fast-paced to read during the work week, and so I picked up Children of Gods and Fighting Men. It reads pretty quickly. I'm already halfway through about 400 pages, and I don't know if I'll be picking this one up again until I finish A Clash of Kings. I might, if I feel like I need a break, but yeah, we're about halfway through that. I am enjoying everything I have in progress, as you can probably tell, and yeah, so I'm looking forward. I'm expecting to finish at least one of these books this week, if not more. So yeah, hopefully I'll have some finished books the next time you hear from me on this update. In terms of videos, I finally recorded my video for Stoner, which I put out last week. We had our discussion of Berserk Volume 3 this morning, which you can find on Steve's channel. I also have a playlist I've created on my channel called Berserk Group Read. If you're interested in checking out our Berserk discussions, they all link to videos on Steve's channel, but I thought it'd be nice to have a playlist off of my channel. So we did that, and that reminds me, I forgot to mention that I did also complete reading Volume 3 of Berserk, and next week we'll be reading and discussing Volume 4. It's going great so far. We've started the Golden Age arc, and I'm given to understand that is everyone's favorite arc, or most people's. Everyone keeps raving about how wonderful the Golden Age arc is, and also I think it goes on for a really long time, or like for a significant number of volumes. We've started getting Guts' backstory, so yeah, it's pretty cool, and I'm very interested, and the group discussions are so much fun. So yeah, that's really enhancing my overall experience of this manga, so I'm really eager for what comes next. And I recorded, like I mentioned, my Game of Thrones video, which will come out later this week. I have 2 more videos, dedicated book videos, that I will make in the upcoming weeks. I will make one on The Light Fantastic, which is the second Discworld book, and I have to figure out how to organize my videos about Toll the Hounds. I mentioned this last week. I finally finished it after reading it for over a period of 7 months, and it is a new Malazan favorite, and I have a lot to think about and a lot that I want to discuss. The way I'm thinking about this right now is that I'll probably make one high-level video and then maybe do some deep dives about some specific characters or some specific themes that I particularly want to discuss. There might be up to 3, maybe 4 videos that I end up doing, but I'll have to plan them, and so it'll probably be over a period of a couple of months that I make those videos. But I don't plan to read Dust of Dreams at least until May, so yeah, I think it'll be fine. It'll be nice to intersperse some Malazan content between all my other videos. So I am excited about making those videos eventually. But that's what's coming up in terms of Toll the Hounds. Yeah, I think that's everything. Those are all my updates. I hope you're having a good reading week. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.